to this episode of the Cajun Conservative Show, where I talk about life, talk about liberty, and yes, talk about the pursuit of happiness, and we show you the world that as Cajuns do have intelligence. Hope you're having a good day and a good week wherever you're located. Ladies and gentlemen, running a little behind on this episode if you are waiting for the newest episode to drop, and I got busy. I got busy. You know, a lot of people don't understand. And if you're a podcaster or a content creator, you know what I'm talking about. But a lot of people don't understand how much time it puts into this. But I thank you, the audience, that you are understanding, you're loving, you're caring, and you know my predicament with all the things I have to do throughout the week. And God bless you. God bless you. God keep you. May his face forever shine upon you, ladies and gentlemen. And I want to go ahead and talk about a topic today that has been gaining up a little bit of steam, and that is talking about third-party candidates. And what I mean by third party, well, ladies and gentlemen, the independent, conservative, even the Conservative Party, name it. I'm trying to think of it. It could be the Fox Party. I don't know, ladies and gentlemen. There's a lot going on. There's a lot riding in this next coming election, and we're going to talk about a few third-party candidates that possibly can jump in or have already jumped in, and will it make an impact against Trump and Biden? I believe those two are going to be the nominee unless something major happens with President Joe Biden. Before I say that, though, I do want to thank everyone that has helped us out here at the show, all our partners, our affiliate partners, and our sponsors. Couldn't do without you guys. Thank you for all the moral support from you, the audience. And please, if this is your first time listening and you like the content that we are creating, just don't look at it. Don't, hit the subscribe button, hit the follow button, help out this show. That like and that subscription helps out more than you know. If that's on the audio side or the video side, go ahead and like Rumble's follow. He's followed the show. Also, share it out with your friends and share it out with your family. It helps me out more than you know, ladies and gentlemen. I'm thankful for what you guys are doing out there to promote this show. I went and looked the other day on FeedSpot, and they ranked this show number 9 out of, I think, top 70 of the podcasts in America. And that was a big jump. I remember the last time they did a poll like that, I was around 50. So we're making waves here on the show. We're making big waves, and we could not do it without you guys. So, all right. So let's talk about third-party candidates. Why did this come up with all the news stuff that's going on today? Well, Fox News went ahead and ran a story. And it read like this: RFK Jr. scores 3 endorsements from 3 high-profile athletes. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we know athletes are leaning more towards the left. Now, there is some out there, the NBA player Isaacs, and it's not because I remember because of my name, but that's not because that's the reason I didn't bring him out was because of the name. But Isaacs took a knee. Didn't take a knee. He stood firm, ladies and gentlemen, on a lot of stuff that with the flag and all that stuff. But we know that majority of athletes are leaning more towards the left, which I don't understand why. Athletes are there to make money, and they need more money. They have more money they can think about, and they start businesses, and they live on the principle of capitalism, but they want to support liberal-leaning agendas. But first on Fox, a trio of former professional athletes are throwing their support behind independent presidential candidate Robert F. Kennedy Jr. to take the White House. The NBA legend and 1992 Dream Team Olympian John Stockton, quarterback Packer Hall of Fame member Ken Rogerson, and 3-time North American Indoor mountain biking champion Kyle Warner all are endorsing Kennedy for president. And ladies and gentlemen, I made a statement. I knew it was bold last time I did a podcast, but I made the statement and I said, if you are a conservative and you're going to vote for Robert Kennedy, you need to have your head examined. Listen, I heard Robert Kennedy speak. And when Robert Kennedy first came out, I thought this would be a challenge for President Biden. I called him the Donald Trump of the Democrat Party. He's the one that would go ahead and challenge President Joe Biden, probably more than any other challenger out there, unless you see Joe Manchin or somebody big name like him. We're going to talk about him in a little while. But ladies and gentlemen, yeah, and I'm really sticking to that statement. If you're a conservative and you're thinking about Robert Kennedy for president of the United States over Donald Trump or Ron DeSantis or Nikki Haley, you need to get your head examined, because Robert Kennedy is nothing more than a Democrat. He was seeking the Democrat Party's nomination. The reason he switched to independent way before the primaries, which I think was dumb, but he switched to independent because he knew the Democrat Party would not back him. But I called him the Donald Trump of the Democrat Party. I thought he had a good shot to beat Biden, and that is my political opinion on that. But ladies and gentlemen, Robert Kennedy, it's picking up endorsements from, I don't know if these people are left-leaning, but picking up endorsements from athletes all over the nation, and or former athletes. And ladies and gentlemen, it's because Biden is not popular. That's why I say I don't know why Robert Kennedy jumped out of the primary races. Now the media, and let's have an article, the media is trying to protect Biden. We already know that. That is not a surprise to anybody. But but Robert Kennedy is picking up these endorsements. Now, this isn't the only news article that Fox News came out with. More 2024 headaches for Biden as a list of potential presidential challengers grow. Now, I think this is an opinion piece. No, it's political. And it's talking about the guy I mentioned earlier, Joe Manchin. President Biden already faces increasing doubts about his ability to win re-election next year, but now Democrats must confront the prospect of a growing list of potential 2024 challengers running as third-party candidates. Majority Democrat Party victories on Tuesday, which was a couple of weeks ago, in the 2023 off-year election gave Biden a much-needed boost after a slew of well-publicized polls suggesting he was trailing former President Donald Trump, the commanding GOP nominee frontrunner in the 2024 rematch. But Thursday's announcement by 2016 Green Party presidential nominee Jill Stein that she will make another White House run next year, which I don't know why. She's already failed, I think, twice, was not welcoming news to Team Biden. Plenty of Democrats still blame Stein 2016 campaign for putting, putting Trump in the White House alone. They also blame Russiagate, but they'll blame anything. Democrat Party, if they lose an election, it's not their fault. It's somebody else's fault. It's Russiagate or it's another candidate or whatever. Her vote total 7 years ago in the key battleground state of Michigan, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin tipped Trump margins over Democrat nominee Hillary Clinton in each state. A couple of hours after Stein news broke, moderate Democrat Senator Joe Manchin announced he wouldn't seek re-election next year in heavily red West Virginia, deflating his party's hope of holding their Senate majority in 2024. Manchin, who has openly flirted with the possibility of launching a third-party presidential bid, highlighted in his announcement video that in the coming months he would travel across the nation to see if there is any interest in creating a movement to mobilize the middle and bring Americans together. Ladies and gentlemen, that's from Fox News. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to say this right here. First off, third-party candidates are a problem for Joe Biden. It's not, look, because listen who all's trying to run. Joe Manchin's thinking about running. Jill Stein is a leftist. She's the Green Party's candidate, but she's a third-party candidate, and she's a leftist. She's a liberal. Robert Kennedy is running as an independent. Ladies and gentlemen, these are all left-leaning people. Okay? These are all left-leaning people, and this is why I'm going to ask a question, because this article kind of brought out 2016. If Jill Stein wouldn't have ran, would Hillary Clinton have been president of the United States? I don't think so. Donald Trump was a strong candidate, like he is a strong candidate now. Donald Trump would have won that election hands down. It was nearly a slaughter for the White House for President Donald Trump. But ladies and gentlemen, every time I hear about a third-party candidate, I hear how it's bad for the Republicans. Now, look, ladies and gentlemen, look at the Republican primary right now. All right. Am I a fan of it? No. I really think Ron DeSantis would be the best candidate, but right now it's just throwing mud at each other. It's not accomplishing anything. All they're doing is burning free airtime. And the RNC might pay for it. I don't know. But ladies and gentlemen, there's no third-party candidate on the Republican side that I'm aware of. Now, it could be Chris Christie could possibly throw his hat in the ring if he does not win the primary. That is a possibility. But ladies and gentlemen, even Chris Christie might say, I don't want to deal with that. But ladies and gentlemen, every poll I see says that a third-party candidate would hurt Donald Trump. They never go to the fact, now like Fox News has done it, but mainstream media has never entered the thought how this could hurt Joe Biden. Because CNN a while back went ahead and ran a poll saying that if it was Donald Trump and Joe Biden, just Donald Trump and Joe Biden, Donald Trump would beat Joe Biden hands down. But if you throw Robert Kennedy in, Robert Kennedy would get majority of the votes. Or it would split. Trump and Kennedy are tied, and that shows that Biden would win. Well, ladies and gentlemen, if that was true, why are the Democrat parties worried about a third-party candidate? Think about it, okay? If it ain't that big of a problem, or if it's going to help Donald Trump, why not ask more third-party candidates to come in? Because, ladies and gentlemen, it hurts Biden. Okay, there's a lot of people out there in my own party that do not like Donald Trump. I have someone that is a good friend of mine, cannot stand Donald Trump, and openly said it on this show and others that they would not support Donald Trump in an election. But ladies and gentlemen, now unless this person said he probably would stay home. But ladies and gentlemen, you know how many people feel that same way about Biden? A new article came out, said that Biden had the lowest approval rating in his presidency. Just came out. Ladies and gentlemen, a third-party candidate will make an impact. But would it really? Now, this is why I'm coming to this point right here. Joe Manchin might throw a wrench in there. Joe Stein, Robert Kennedy. Ladies and gentlemen, just Robert Kennedy alone with his name. He has 22% of the vote. 22% of the vote. I was talking to C3 the other day when I was on their show, and we talked about this with third-party candidates and stuff like that, and we talked about Rob Perot, who ran against Bill Clinton and Bush 41. And he took, I think, 15% of the vote, and it swayed the votes enough to put Bill Clinton in office. So a third-party candidate does affect the outcome of the election. We're not going to, if they're a big name, all right? But ladies and gentlemen, who does it help? Now, like I said, it depends on who that third party votes for. If it's in a blue state and they vote for Robert Kennedy, well, it's going to hurt Biden. Especially if it gets to the states like they mentioned with Jill Stein back in 2016, with Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, and Michigan. Those are traditionally blue states. If Robert Kennedy goes in those states and takes 10%, 15% away from Joe Biden, Donald Trump walks into the White House. Easy. Now, but then we got to go to another part, because look, I'm not gonna fuss at the liberals. The liberals do what they want to do. I'm gonna fuss at conservatives that are thinking about Robert Kennedy. Because if conservatives in Georgia, if conservatives in any blue state, any Florida, say, well, we don't want Donald Trump, and that turns those votes away from Donald Trump, and they go to Robert Kennedy, guess what? You're going to have another Biden 4 years. Because, look, I learned something about the Democrat Party, ladies. I just mentioned Pennsylvania. I mentioned Wisconsin. I mentioned Michigan. At the end of the day, Democrats stick with each other. If the DNC says, look, don't vote for Manchin, Don't vote for Kennedy. Don't vote for Jill Stein. Vote for Biden. And you know what's going to be the next line after that? Because we got to keep Donald Trump out the White House. And ladies and gentlemen, a Democrat can disagree with Biden tooth and nail. He can disagree with Biden on everything. But when they hear the word Trump or hear the name Trump, they get their calzones in a bunch. They get angry. They get upset. Oh, we can't have another 4 years of mean tweets, which is not tweets no more, it's X, but we can't have mean posts and we can't have big bad orange man. And they're going to stick to Donald Trump. They're going to stick to President Joe Biden. I promise you. I've been watching politics since I've been 13 years old. And then again, let's look at the conservatives / Republicans. They do totally opposite. Okay, well, we can't agree with Donald Trump, and we're just gonna stay home and not vote. Well, you're gonna let a man, and look at track records. Okay, look, I wasn't planning on going to this point, but I'm talking about third parties, and this is the impact of a third party. If they go ahead and say, well, we're gonna vote for Robert Kennedy or stay home, that's taking votes, and the Democrats are gonna stick by Joe Biden. I hate to tell you conservatives that are listening to this and hoping, oh, well, hope some liberal will go ahead and have common sense. Because, ladies and gentlemen, this is what Republicans, and I understand that, they're feeling on their emotion. I understand. And values. I understand that. I do not agree with Donald Trump. But if you look at policy-wise, Donald Trump did a better job, way better job, than Joe Biden. I promise you, we wouldn't be in a war right now. I honestly feel that way. We would not be in a war if President Donald Trump was in office. I honestly believe that. This is going to be the impact of a third-party candidate. It will make an impact. It will make an impact if Joe Manchin or somebody steps in. Right now, it looks more like it would be a left-leaning person, which would take votes possibly away from Biden. But if my theory is correct, it won't matter. Now, if the conservatives, like I said, I'm harping on this, there should be no conservative out there voting for Robert Kennedy. Rhinos, I can understand rhinos. But if you label yourself a physical conservative or conservative in general, you should not vote for Robert Kennedy. Because Robert Kennedy is going to push left-leaning agendas. And ladies and gentlemen, look, we're in these type of talks right now because President Biden stinks as a president. He's the worst president in the United States of America's history. But ladies and gentlemen, we have to talk about a third-party candidate. Third parties don't help. Unless it's correction. Third parties do help. In history, it only helped the Democrat Party. Except one time, and that's when the Republican Party was started in 55, 53, whatever it is. Right before Abraham Lincoln became president. The Republican Party got in because the Democrat Party split and they came in. That's the only way a third party works. And it depends on the third party. With that being said, we're going to be back in a few minutes, so please stay tuned. How you doing, everyone? Isaac Hayes here. I'm here to talk to you about Smith Truck and Equipment Sales. I've been part of the trucking industry for a few years now, and I know the importance of finding a company that won't just sell you a truck or piece of equipment, but will take the time to know you and help you through the process and checking in on you after the sale. That's why we are proud to announce our partnership with Smith Truck and Equipment Sales. Smith Truck and Equipment Sales is a family-owned and operated pre-owned truck and trailer dealership in Lafayette, Louisiana, who have been serving Acadiana for over 40 years. They offer full service, parts and accessories, and financing. They also buy used trucks of all makes and models. You can visit Monday through Friday from 7:30 to 5 at their location at 3010 Northeast Evangeline Thruway, or visit their website, SmithTruckSales.com. You can also give them a call at 337-234-0557 and let their friendly and experienced staff take care of all your truck and trailer needs. Smith Truck and Equipment Sales. Tell them the Cajun Conservative sent you.
Cleansed and made us whole. one soul.
All right, everybody, welcome back to the second segment of the Cajun Conservative Show today. Continue on third party and people coming out of the blue and thinking about running for president of the United States. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson says political parties approached him to run for president one after another. I promise you, it was not a conservative party, or it wasn't the conservatives going to ask The Rock. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, I like The Rock. I like his movies. Fast and Furious. He's part of the Fast series since Fast 5. They're coming. The Fast X just came out, and ladies and gentlemen, The Rock is back at the end of it, showing that he's probably going to be in possibly the last Fast movie. But I've watched tons of movies with The Rock on it. Great actor. That don't make him presidential. Okay? Because I'm going to use the left's argument on this. A lot of people on the left are saying, well, let's get The Rock to be the president of the United States. The Rock would do so well as a president of the United States. What about your arguments in 2016? Donald Trump would not be a good president because he's a media person. He does TV. He has no experience being president. Because The Rock is a mean actor on television, that makes him a good candidate to be president of the United States? No, ladies. To be honest with you, I don't even know why Democrats or certain people would be encouraging The Rock to run, because that would hurt President Joe Biden. Going back to my argument of the first segment, which is talking about third-party candidates. And ladies and gentlemen, look, a third-party candidate, as I said, majority of the time in history helped the Democrats out. Going back to the 1991 race against Bush and Bill Clinton. If the independent would not have been in there, Bush probably would have been the president of the United States. What hurt Bush was no new taxes, and he pushes taxes going forward in into his administration. But ladies and gentlemen, a third-party candidate does not help nobody. And the same thing with it. Look, they're all pushing left-leaning candidates. Look, what the Democrat Party should do is tell President Joe Biden, we're not going to support you. We're going after another candidate, and put somebody up against Joe Biden. Now, if the American people or the Democrat Party of the United States, if they vote in their primaries to keep Joe Biden, guess what? The DSC needs to stand behind him. But ladies and gentlemen, it's not looking that way. It's not looking that way whatsoever. So you have to do something. You can't just, we're going to throw third-party candidates out there. It won't work, at least for the Democrat Party. And it won't. And like I said, there are conservatives out there that will say, well, we're leaning towards Robert Kennedy. Why? Robert Kennedy already showed that he's a flip-flop. He says he's for abortion, then he says he's against abortion. And when pressed upon it, he's for abortion. For, against, for. What are you? No conservative should be thinking about Robert Kennedy for president. No conservative. Because all Robert Kennedy is a left-leaning Democrat. Because he changed his party to independent does not make him a candidate that the conservatives should look at. When you have plenty more other good candidates out there. If you're going to look for an alternative to Donald Trump, look to Ron DeSantis, Nikki Haley, or somebody like that. Will they last to the primaries? It's looking like it won't happen. But we're going to have to wait and see. All right. Democrats block efforts to impeach DHS Secretary Mayorkas with Republican support. That's a big line right there, ladies and gentlemen. So Marjorie Taylor Greene wanted to remove Department of Homeland Security Secretary Mayorkas. Why, you may ask? Well, ladies and gentlemen, look at this man's track record the last couple of months. Well, the last 3 years since he's been in that office. The border crossings have crossed tremendously. The facilities at the border are terrible. You remember when Donald Trump was in office and they showed the cages and they had all these people that were in cages and they were being deprived and the families were being separated and Donald Trump said, listen, all I'm doing is following the law. I'm not doing nothing else. I'm just following the law. But people were like, oh, I can't believe it. Ah. Do you know, at the border, they kind of went back to those type of things? Now, that's under Biden's leadership, but ladies and gentlemen, Mayorkas is the Department of Homeland Security Secretary. I heard someone say that earlier today. His job solely is to protect the United States. Make sure we do not have anybody crossing over that border. That is his job. His job is to protect the United States and make sure we don't have terrorists, which have crossed over, unfortunately. Ladies and gentlemen, Mayorkas stinks. He's like his boss. He stinks. He does not know how to do his job. Well, Marjorie Taylor Greene pushed articles of impeachment. And they would have worked, except for eight Republicans who joined with the Democrats once again to stop something that was good. Now, who are these eight? Well, Ken Buck, Darrell Eason, Tom McClanton, Patrick McHenry. Remember, Patrick McHenry was Kevin McCarthy's replacement when he was ousted out. They do it so that John Burden, Virginia Fox, Cliff Bortz, and Mike Turner. Though an additional 11 Democrats and 12 Republicans did not vote on the measure, Green voiced her displeasure in the video posted to X, saying that the 8 Republicans voted to protect Mayorkas from impeachment, which she called unbelievable. Now, listen here. I'm going to make a statement here. 12 Republicans did not vote on this measure. They either voted present or they weren't there. But ladies and gentlemen, them 12 Republicans would have voiced their opinion. This measure would have passed if they would have voted against Mayorkas. But instead of saying yes or no and there being flip-flops, they didn't vote, which makes it a no vote. Like, hey, we don't want the measure. Now, ladies and gentlemen, look, Mayorkas is bad. We can go all day talking about the border, but I'm not going to focus on that. On this show, I don't just bash the Democrats and praise the Republicans. I don't think, and look, I hear a lot of commentators or a lot of political pundits do this. If Republicans do something bad, they try to sugarcoat it. All right? I'm not going to do that here in this show. The 12 plus 8, which is 20 Republicans, that did not vote for this measure to remove a man that is putting our country in danger, shame on you. Shame on you. We could have took out a person that is putting our country in harm's way because he is not doing his job. But you instead of you lining with the Republican Party and to remove this person, went ahead and kept your mouth shut, or you went ahead and voted to not impeach this person. Why? Well, I love the arguments the Republicans give. Well, if we go ahead and remove them, it's like we're attacking our political rivals, and we don't want to be a country known for attacking our political rivals. This man sucks at protecting this country. I'm going to use for me, for example. Imagine I'm driving a truck. I drive dump trucks for a living. And imagine I just go ahead and hit light posts, hit vehicles, and everything like that. And I tell my boss, listen, I'm trying my best to be a truck driver. What will my boss do? That's what Mayorkas is doing. Hey, the border's bad, but and he don't even mention the border bad. He says, well, we're looking at everything very closely. But Mayorkas is like, well, I know things are bad, but we're working on the issue. It would be like me going to my boss and saying, hey, I stink at driving, but guess what? I'm working on it. Now, I've been driving for a lot of years, so I'm good. Imagine my boss. I couldn't imagine my boss. Let me say that. I couldn't imagine my boss telling me, I know you stink at driving, but I'm still going to pay you your pay, and you can still get in my truck. That'd be the 5th one you damage in God knows how long. Okay? No, a boss, a true boss, and that's in any profession. A true boss will tell you, hey, you stink, you're fired, get out of my yard or get out of my business. Ladies and gentlemen, this is, instead of them doing that to Mayorkas, you know what the Republicans did? We know you're trying, T-Bab. I'm doing Cajun terms. We know you're trying, T-Bab. Just stay focused. You're going to get it. And ladies and gentlemen, look, this is what gets me about this whole thing, too. The Republicans had an opportunity to remove Mayorkas. Every Republican that I'm aware of in the House of Representatives have all come out and said there's a problem at the southern border. There's been 8 million people cross that southern border. Now, they are not all from Mexico. Okay? They are from other countries. This year alone, they have captured more people that were on the terror watch list than any year before. The border is in chaos. The border is in trouble. And the Republicans, every stinking Republican in the House of Representatives have said that they need something needs to get done at the southern border. But when it's time to do something, do you know what the Republicans do? We're going to keep the man that's in charge there more because you see he's trying. He's trying to keep the border safe. He's not willingly opening up the border and these people are coming over. But ladies and gentlemen, when you start relaxing regulations at the border, and look, don't get me wrong, it's not all him either. Okay, I'm not going to go ahead and just bash Mayorkas over the head with a hammer because it starts at the higher up too. His boss is telling him what to do. And let's even go that, even correction. Biden's boss is telling Biden what to do to tell Mayorkas what to do. Well, hold on. Biden's the president of the United States. No, I think there's a former president that's pulling some strings to get things done. Because it's kind of funny. I heard this today, and it makes a lot of sense that Biden picked all Obama people to go back in the White House. He didn't pick his own people. He didn't pick his own staff. He didn't pick people that he liked. He picked people that Obama liked. So, who's in charge? Ladies and gentlemen, you got to realize the first day of Biden's presidency, signed 17 executive orders, then signed another double digits the next day, and majority of them were opening the border. If you remember, ladies and gentlemen, in 2021, when Biden took office, you had a caravan in Mexico waiting for Biden to say, "So help me God," at the end of his inauguration speech. Well, his inaugurational swearing in. Why? Because they knew when he was president of the United States, they could get into this country. Over 8 million people, ladies and gentlemen. Now, I think this would have gone to the Senate, and the Senate would have had to approve the impeachment of Mayorkas. Probably wouldn't have happened. But ladies and gentlemen, at least the Republican Party would have put a stamp of disapproval on his job. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't understand this. Now, even this, though, this talks to the testament of the new Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson. A bill like this wouldn't have even saw a House vote under Kevin McCarthy. Now, look, do I agree with Matt Gaetz's stance? No, the way he did it, he didn't have a plan. But ladies and gentlemen, it's looking like they bringing in Mike Johnson to the floor is speeding a lot of things on that Kevin McCarthy didn't even want to touch because of political bias. It's funny when you have a true conservative in there instead of a man that's calling himself a conservative from the liberal state of California. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't understand Republicans. I don't understand how do you, as a leader of the House of Representatives, go ahead and not push this vote through? It just I don't understand. I don't understand what the Republicans are doing. You had an opportunity and you blew it. With that being said, we're going to go ahead and take a break. We'll be right back in a few moments, so please stay tuned. How you doing, everyone? Isaac Hayes here. In America, hair loss is a problem for most adults. 60% of men will have to deal with hair loss by the age of 50, and 50% of women will experience hair loss in their lifetime. Now, some people may not worry about the receding hairline, but if you are, I want to tell you about HairClub. HairClub has 40 plus years dedicated to restoring hair and rebuilding confidence. They have over 650 expert consultants and 120 locations across America to help you on your journey to stop your hair loss. If you would like to see what HairClub can do for you, go to the description of this episode and hit the link to their website and schedule an appointment with one of their consultants to get you what you need to restore your hair. Remember to use the promo code BGSmedia10 at the checkout to get 10% off the price. You're my peace of mind when this old world seems to get me down. All right, everybody, welcome back to the third and final segment of the Cajun Conservative Show today. Ladies and gentlemen, the government shutdown has been delayed once again. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. As recently as, I think, last night, the Senate voted on Mike Johnson's two-step plan, and is a continued resolution. Now, people might be wondering, wait, hold on, Isaac. Matt Gaetz just went ahead and fought tooth and nail to stop continued resolution under Kevin McCarthy. Well, there was a lot more involved with that. It was also the breaking of promises that Kevin McCarthy did. There is a video out there, and it gives Matt Gaetz a side of why he did it. It wasn't just the government shutdown. The media was pushing that. The media was pushing, hey, he's just avoiding it. But the thing of it is, ladies and gentlemen, come to find out, Kevin McCarthy did a lot of other stuff, and he broke a lot of promises that shouldn't have been broken for him to become House Speaker. Now, Mike Johnson, I don't know if Mike Johnson made any promises to become House Speaker, but this continued resolution, in my opinion, needed to get done. Why? Now, I'm against continued resolutions. I don't like the government kicking a can down the road. But Mike Johnson only been a speaker for 2 weeks, ladies and gentlemen. The continuation, the continued resolution with Kevin McCarthy took weeks to plan out. So Mike Johnson to do it in 2 weeks would have been a tall order. Now, he did push it to a couple of weeks down the road, and that gives him time to work out a better resolution. Now, I believe he said this will be the only one he does. Now we have to see what Mike Johnson does as well. But the Senate passed it. Now we got to wait for the president's signature. At the time of this recording, we have to see what happens. But ladies and gentlemen, I just, this whole issue of debt and this whole issue of us spending out of the wazoo is terrible. America is almost at $34 trillion in debt. I remember going into this presidential term, I think I was saying 28, 27. It was in the 20s. Now it's at 34 trillion. Remember when they did this plan to stop the government shutdown and all that stuff, and then they extended the debt 2-point-some trillion dollars? We're way past that now, ladies and gentlemen. Way past that now. But the government is doing it, and this is why I'm hoping Mike Johnson does something better. But at the time being, hey, continue it on. Give him time to make his own plan, not to go on Kevin McCarthy's plan or anybody else's plan. That's what I think about this government shutdown. I am not endorsing it. I don't like it. But ladies and gentlemen, Mike Johnson only had 2 weeks to plan all this. Ladies and gentlemen, article came out from Fox News the other day. Biden officials rebel against president on Israel-Hamas war, signed dissent letter. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this is some in the president's own cabinet. Wrote President Biden a letter. 400 government officials from 40 different departments and agencies wrote a letter to President Biden and in opposing the president's handling of Israel and Hamas and demand a ceasefire. This is the president's own team. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we know that the president is really in a pickle right now. Why? Because the Palestinian people in this country, and look, I'm not saying all the Palestinian people, but they're trying to say they're protesting for Gaza, but if you're protesting in Gaza's favor, you're protesting in Hamas' favor. A ceasefire would only help Hamas gain traction. See, right now, Hamas is weak. Israel found the hospital. Now, listen to me right here. All you people that are on the left trying to say that Israel is genociding the people of Gaza. Israel found the hospital where Hamas's military base is, or their military strategy room is, in a hospital. But Israel's the bad people. And if they would go ahead and do a ceasefire, that would only strengthen Hamas. This is why Israel shouldn't stop. And look, I agree. I don't say this much. Don't worry. Your ears are not full of wax. I agree with the president on his stance of that Israel should defend themselves. And like he agrees there should be pauses for humanitarian aid to get in there. And you can agree to disagree on that. But ladies and gentlemen, a total ceasefire. Now, this is in the Biden administration's own team. Like I said, majority of Palestinians are left-leaning people. Now, this is why a third-party candidate, as we go back to our first segment, would hurt President Biden, because there's people that disagree with how he's handling this conflict. Ladies and gentlemen, me personally, if I was president of the United States, I would have done a lot more. And ladies and gentlemen, we're fighting because the president is taking this stance on this, which I'm happy he's doing. We're getting hit with drone strikes and stuff, and the military is finally starting to say, hey, look, we're not going to have that, and they're shooting down drones. I read one about that today. But ladies and gentlemen, this letter from Biden's own people is hurting him. Because this is where the president of the United States, and I hope he stays on this stance with Israel, but his own people are coming against him. Now the president has to make a choice. Does he stand up for right or wrong? Does he stand up for good or evil? He has a choice now. And ladies and gentlemen, I hope he stays his ground. But if he calls for a ceasefire like France did the other day, it's not going to be pretty. Now, he's not worried about the conservatives. He knows he's not going to get a conservative vote. But he is worried about those people that are storming the Capitol and going to the White House, or going to his house, as reported the other day. And ladies and gentlemen, they had protests in New York. I heard one today. The bridge in San Francisco, they blocked it because of traffic. They did a protest and blocked traffic on rush hour. Ladies and gentlemen, the president needs to. This is what if I had any chance to talk to the president of the United States, stand your ground. Stand your ground with Israel. Don't back down. Stand behind Israel. Because them thugs in Gaza will take any opportunity to wipe Israel off the face of the map. And the only true ally Israel has is America. And we need to stand firm with Israel. All right, let's move on to the next story. So this week, China President Xi Jinping, I think it is, decided to come to California, and the president of the United States went ahead and meet him. Now, there was a lot of things going on. A lot of people were talking about it's a fine line. I saw one person I follow with the news on TikTok say that handshake they gave, that's a fine line of peace between our two countries. But ladies and gentlemen, the peace is not in America's favor. President Biden is set to strike a deal with China that would limit the use of artificial intelligence in nuclear weapons. Biden to meet with President Xi Jinping on Wednesday at the Asian Pacific Economist Corporation, or APEC Summit in San Francisco, where the two leaders are expected to also sign an agreement to limit AI use in military applications, according to the report from Business Insider. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. America, the Democrat Party is all scared about AI. Now, there is an interesting theory, and I'm not going to take this theory for my credit. I'm going to credit it Dan Bongino. the reason that Democrats, and this is Dan Bongino's theory, the reason that the Democrats are scared of AI is because if you ask an AI something, it's going to give you the facts and the truth. And Democrats and artificial intelligence don't have a mind of its own. It's going to just repeat facts and facts and the truth. A journalist or somebody that is doing a show like this can voice their opinion and spread lies. Now, I don't do that. I try to be as truthful as possible. But ladies and gentlemen, they can't control AI's response. So, ladies and gentlemen, they're afraid of it. But, ladies and gentlemen, artificial intelligence like this for military operations could help. Why the heck is the president of the United States making a deal with China to limit our capability to defend ourselves? Why? And also, I got another question. Will China follow this agreement? Like, it's not like China broke their promises and their agreements already with us. Come on, ladies and gentlemen. This gets me angry. For a president to do this, it shows that he's been sold out. Now, there's some other things they talked about, like the tariffs that Donald Trump put into place that is still making us money here in America. President Biden wants to, let's ease up on China. Let's lift those up so China can have a better economy. Now, why, like Xi Jinping, one of the agendas he had coming over here was trying to boost up the China economy. And it looks like President Biden is accommodating him. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not trying to sound like a conspiracy theorist, but, President Joe Biden did take over $40-some thousand, if I'm not mistaken, from China. That is according to the bank records from James Comer. If that is true, China has paid our president for political favors. Why would President Biden rush to this meeting with Xi Jinping? Ladies and gentlemen, this is just showing that our president might be bought and paid for, and he does not have the best interest of this nation at hand when he goes to these meetings. He's maybe more worried about Ukraine or China or whatever other country that him and his son put their nose in. Now, like I said, I'm not going to say that's fact because, hey, they didn't go to trial yet. But, ladies and gentlemen, it is disturbing. It is very disturbing. Now, I got a lot of stories, so I'm giving you my Cliff Note opinions on these stories. Jesse Waters, the Secret Service has been lying to you about the White House cocaine scandal. Now, Jesse Waters went ahead and made a whole monologue about this. But, ladies and gentlemen, the cocaine, there's been a photo release of where they found the cocaine. Now, when the Secret Service first came out, they said it was in the lobby, it was in a library, it was in a bedroom, it was on top of the White House. Name it, they said it was there. But, ladies and gentlemen, the Secret Service has released this footage of this cocaine that was found in the White House. If you remember the story, it was a big story all over the national media that there was cocaine substance found in the White House. And, ladies and gentlemen, they when they released this photo, it was in a little cubby, a personal cubby. Now, when I first saw this, I saw the picture and I'm like, hold on. I've been to a gym. I don't look like I have, but I've been to a gym. I've been to places where they have lockers where you put a key and you put your possessions in. That's what it looked like. You have it in the White House, if I'm not mistaken, the White House has a personal lock, so it's issued to them. Where's the key? And isn't that box registered to somebody? Think about, okay, just think. I know, like I'm gonna use an example. They did not pay for no promotion, but I think it's Anytime Fitness. Anytime Fitness would have this wall and the cubbies. They wouldn't be assigned to nobody. You just go pick a locker. But there are some gyms that you have to pay for that locker and you get a number. We don't know who it belonged to. Really? Is the Secret Service doing the job? And this is what Jesse Waters was saying. I think he made a good point. They obtained documents from the Secret Service revealing more details about where the White House cocaine was, and Jesse Waters started talking about it. According to the documents, they found some DNA, but they can't find out who the DNA belongs to. When you ask about the cocaine, they say, well, we destroyed it. And they also said the DNA we collected, we're probably going to destroy that later on as well. Ladies and gentlemen, the Secret Service is hiding something. We don't know what it is, but it sounds like they're hiding something. Because, ladies and gentlemen, when you release a photo of that box, and like me, I don't have knowledge of the Secret Service. I don't have knowledge of anything like that. But I'm just saying, you see it in a couple. You had to, and look, this was in the main lobby. So you have to ask the question, who had the cocaine and who they were bringing it to? Because like I said, it wasn't a tourist that just went and said, hey, I want to see the White House and left his bag or her bag of cocaine somewhere. This was in the White House's West Wing, where people get checked in. Is then there surveillance cameras of somebody going there? But ladies and gentlemen, this does feed to my theory that this belonged possibly to Hunter Biden. Why is it? Why you say that? Well, the main reason I say that is because why you have Hunter Biden has a history of substance abuse. He also at that time was at the White House. Now you don't hear of cocaine coming in there before that, so you have to ask the question: could it be possible Joe Biden, Hunter Biden's? Yes, I believe it is. And somebody got scared, so they ditched it somewhere. Now the Secret Service might know who it is, and if they're afraid if they reveal it, it's going to hurt the Biden family. But ladies and gentlemen, according to Jesse Waters, there's a lot of other things that are in this report that does not match up what they told us. And ladies and gentlemen, it just goes to the fact that it's a two-tiered justice system. Because if the Secret Service would have found this under Donald Trump, they would have searched Donald Trump, they would have searched Eric Trump, the media would not have let this go. And guess what? Nobody remembers. When this came out, they were like, they found cocaine in the White House. That was a couple of months ago, and they forgot. The rage that they had, they were forgotten. And that's what the media does. If the media wants a story to stay alive, they push it. But if they want a story to die, they talk about it for 2 days, and then they cut it down. Look, prime example before I get to the next story, Israel and Hamas. First 2 days of media coverage, Hamas is bad, Hamas is evil, Israel needs to defend themselves. Now we're at a point, over a month and some later, the media, we need to call for a ceasefire. It's just they're pushing narratives. The media is not here to give you information. It is there to indoctrinate you. Special counsel investigating Biden's classified document. Remember the documents that we found in the RV? Not the with the Corvette in the garage that was unsecure. This is from the Daily Caller. Reportedly unlikely to charge anybody. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. The person that is a special counsel to Robert Hur is unlikely to charge anybody at the conclusion of his investigation into President Joe Biden handling of classified documents, according to multiple reports. Ladies and gentlemen, this man hardly had a budget. Well, he had a budget of like $1 million, something, $2 million, whatever, while Jack Smith had unlimited funds. Jack Smith was told, look at everything, while Robert Hur was like, just look at the documents. Don't look at nothing else. Don't look at Hunter Biden. Don't look at no. This man was very limited. And look, nobody's charged. Nobody's charged of a crime. Nothing to see here. Biden did everything right. Ladies and gentlemen, this just shows we had a two-tiered justice. This shows the hypocrisy. The special investigator into Joe Biden, Donald Trump. Look at everything. Look under every rock. Look behind every door. Look under the carpet. Everywhere. Find dirt on Donald Trump. But President Biden has a special investigator. You don't hear nothing about it in the news. And when you do hear something about it, it's, they didn't see nothing wrong, so we're not going to charge nobody. Ladies and gentlemen, Biden is the most corrupt, in my opinion, and the worst president ever. But he's one of the most shielded presidents by the media. Bill Clinton was bad. I remember at the end with Bill Clinton. Barack Obama, extremely bad. They protect Obama like he was the crown prince. But Biden is doing stuff. It is out in the open, and the media is covering for him. And guess what? Biden got his people where they could get this prosecutor, this special counsel, and say, look, don't charge the president. Just look like you're investigating. Ladies and gentlemen, I could have told you this could happen. This would have happened when this. I think it did. I think when this special counsel was announced, I said they ain't gonna find nothing on Biden. But there was also another theory. There was also another prediction that came true that your friendly Cajun conservative said they were gonna find everything and anything on Donald Trump, and they were gonna put him in. They were gonna try to indict him. And look, they already indicted him twice on a federal level. So, ladies and gentlemen, two-tier justice system. What can we do about it? Well, pray. Ask God that he would open the eyes of the president, open the eyes of our leaders, and that the corruption would stop, and that God would go ahead and stop the mess that's going on in America. Really, we need the president, every politician in Washington to get saved, be led by the Holy Spirit, and do everything right. Now, unfortunately, that's not all going to happen, but we can pray. God saved the whole nation of Israel multiple times and brought revival. Let's pray for revival. With that being said, we're going to end this show today. I want to thank you, as always, for listening to the Cajun Conservative family. Again, if this is your first time and you like the content, please hit the like or subscribe button, subscribe button, and follow button, depending on the platform you're on. Welcome to the Cajun Conservative family. Always love new listeners and new subscribers. So with that being said, remember that Jesus Christ is King. He's coming back. He's coming back soon, so don't be faint of heart. Jesus has overcome the world. If you want to know Jesus, your Lord and Savior, reach out to us at the show at thecajunconservative5@gmail.com. We will get with you. We will tell you how to make Jesus your Savior and heaven your home. Until next time, be blessed, be encouraged. You have a good one. Do not lose faith of heart.
He said that Jesus Christ has risen, and he is the open door.